If there's one character in Zootopia that's surprisingly important to the story moving forward, it's definitely Flash the Sloth from the DMV. He's treated like a background joke character for most of the movie, but when you really think about it, a huge part of the plot only happens because of him and his actions. Judy needed to run a license plate in order to track down the limousine that Mr. Otterton was last seen in, and if Flash had never helped with that search, Judy and Nick would have never gone to that parking lot in Tundratown in the first place. That one moment basically sets off everything that follows afterward. Because of that lead, they end up getting kidnapped by Mr. Big's henchmen, which then leads them to meeting Mr. Big himself. After that, they're able to talk to the driver and slowly start uncovering the bigger mystery surrounding the missing mammals. It's funny because Flash seems like such a tiny comedic part of the movie, yet he accidentally becomes one of the key reasons the investigation continues at all.
Here.
Yes, yeah. Hurry.
You.
Thank you. 290HG03.
Go.
It's registered.
Without him, the entire case could have stalled completely. The most interesting thing about Flash is how the movie plays with the idea of him being a sloth. At first, it seems like the joke is simply that he's painfully slow at everything, but there's actually a funny contrast to his personality. Just because he naturally moves slowly doesn't mean he enjoys being slow. In fact, the movie reveals that he owns a sports car and absolutely loves driving fast.
Sir, you were going 115 miles per hour. I hope you have a good explanation.
When Flash is behind the wheel, he becomes the complete opposite of how he acts at the DMV. That detail makes him way more memorable because it adds an extra layer to the joke. His body moves slowly, but his personality clearly enjoys speed and excitement. So while everyone around him is frustrated waiting for him to finish talking or typing, Flash himself probably wishes he could move as fast as the car he drives. His other big moment happens in Zootopia 2 near the climax of the story. Flash barely appears throughout most of the film, so when he suddenly shows up again, it ends up being way more important than people probably expected. Just like in the first film, he becomes one of those characters whose actions completely change the direction of the story at a crucial moment. When Nick breaks out of prison with Nibbles, he's desperately trying to get to Judy in time because she's in serious danger. At that point in the story, Judy is being chased by the police alongside Gary the Snake and Pobbert because they're getting dangerously close to uncovering the truth about the Linksley family. Milton orders Hogbottom to stop them before the truth comes out, and even though Hogbottom clearly hesitates and doesn't fully want to go through with it, the deadly dart is already prepared. She rejects the order emotionally, but the dart ends up being fired by accident anyway. The situation becomes terrifying because the dart is heading straight toward Pobbert, and Judy immediately throws herself in the way to protect him. That moment says a lot about her character because her first instinct is to save someone else even if it puts her own life at risk. But just before the dart can hit her, Flash suddenly arrives with Nick, and the dart crashes into the car instead. If Flash hadn't shown up at that exact second, Judy probably wouldn't have survived. Nick would have arrived too late, and after everything that happened between them throughout the story, he would have carried that guilt forever. So once again, Flash ends up being absolutely essential during one of the most important moments in the entire movie. He doesn't get a huge amount of screen time, and most people mainly remember him for the comedy, but his appearances are always tied to major turning points in the story.
I gotta tell you, I'm not convinced a sloth is our most reliable.